Hi everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. If you're new to the channel, this is where we talk about some of the new releases, reissues, and represses that came out on vinyl today. So this morning I have quite a nice stack of good stuff for you, and the list is posted down below in somewhat alphabetical order. Now there might be things that appear on the list that we're not talking about today, but it's only because we're trying to keep the video going, and I appreciate those of you that have said you don't mind the time span, but it's not the popular way that people like to go. Most people really don't want me to go on and on and on. So we're just going to kind of keep it somewhere in the middle. We always start with the pick of the week and go from there. My pick for you this week is by Alex G, and this is called Live from Union Transfer. It's on the Domino label. Now, this is limited edition vinyl only live album that over the course of Alex's 3 sold-out hometown shows at Philadelphia's Union Transfer that capped off his 2022 fall tour. The 14-song track list, it includes a lot of the universally acclaimed 2022 album God Save the Animals, as well as a selection of his past catalog. So this is on limited edition tangerine vinyl. It does tell you that on the sticker, and these are hand numbered. It's an edition of 3,500, and for example, this one is a low number. It's 660, but you can see there that they are hand numbered. So that's my pick for you this week. You can't go wrong with that. It's a really good thing. Okay, so let's get to it. We got a lot to get through this morning, and first we're going to start with Accept, Blind Rage. This is a reissue, and it comes to us through Nuclear Blast. Blind Rage is the 14th studio album by German heavy metal band Accept. It was originally released in 2014. On Nuclear Blast, but the album debuted at #1 in the German albums chart, and this is Accept's last album with guitarist Herman Frank and drummer Stefan Schwartzman, who both left the band in December of 2014, and this is on neon orange vinyl. Okay, also there's another Accept album reissued here, and this is Blood of the Nations, and Blood of the Nations, plural. It's also on Nuclear Blast. So this is the 12th studio album by Accept. It was originally released in 2010, and it was the band's first studio recording since 1996's Predator, and the first album to feature Mark Tornillo and drummer Stefan Schwartzman. And this is on gold vinyl. Okay, then this is a nice one. And I thought about it for a pick of the week, but just because it's more of a compilation, this is Nico Case, and it's Wild Creatures, and this is a double LP. It's on the Anti Records label. This is a career retrospective album. It contains 23 of Nico Case's most impactful tracks from her discography. So with a career that spans over 20 years, she's famously collaborated with the New Pornographers and Case Lang Veers, in addition to releasing many critically acclaimed solo albums. So this, including Fox Confessor Brings the Flood, excellent record, Middle Cyclone, and most recently 2018's Hell On. So since escaping the labels of country and Americana, the gorgeous vocals of her early career sit very submerged here in her late style. While it can appear they come up like at any time, but she's just got this voice, and when it jumps an octave, it's almost visible, like sparks at night. I never knew where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do with my voice, she says, but I just wanted to do it so bad. So the vinyl configuration includes 2 LPs with printed liner sleeves, inner sleeves, and a gatefold jacket. And it's on limited edition Eco Mix colored vinyl. You know, a lot of bands are doing this Eco Mix. I was just listing a Rancid album the other day, and it's sort of a recycled vinyl thing where they just like take a lot of the bits that come off of pressing one platter, and they mix it all together and melt it down, and it becomes like this Eco Mix. So I'm not in love with that idea. I mean, I like that they're recycling, but I'm not in love with what you have to guess what the colors will be. Anyway, this is a 2 LP one, and one of the LPs looks more like kind of a mauve color, but it's got like swirls in it because of the other colors that come in. And the second disc is kind of a translucent blue, but it's kind of got some lighter colored like smoke wisps on it. Okay, so Eco Mix vinyl, and anyway. Love Nico Case. That's great. All right, this is Chase Atlantic. It's called Phases, and this is on BMG Rights Management. And this is their new Phases. It's fueled by their obsession with creation, songwriting, and beat making, and refusing to conform to any one sound as they spotlight on them only continues to grow. So they say we're always learning and trying different things while being as expressive as possible without losing integrity. And we're in it for the long journey. We have a broad music making spectrum, and we've done everything ourselves, and we're going to do our shit till the day we die. So there you go, committed. This is on limited edition clear vinyl, and I believe it does tell you that. Exclusive clear vinyl right on the sticker. We like that. Okay, now this I'm excited about. These are 3 different reissues of Dope Lemon, and they're all on BMG Rights Management. So the first one we're going to talk about here is Honey Bones, and this is the 3rd studio album by Angus Stone. Now, if you guys don't remember, Angus Stone used to record with his sister under Angus and Julia Stone, and then he here has splintered off to his own thing, and he's going under this moniker of Dope Lemon. And this was released in June of 2016. So the album peaked at number 11 in Australia, and it's 2 LPs on translucent yellow vinyl. Okay, and this one is my favorite, and this one is Rose Pink Cadillac. And the previous one here, both of these are 2 LPs, okay, that they've got going. This is 2 LPs. It's here to, kind of quench our thirst for a stereotypical summer. It's got 10 whimsical, feel-good tracks on it. So Dope Lemon's personal motto is feel good vibes only. And after all, as it musically transport us to our holiday destinations of choice, this album is basically kind of by the bay for the ears and a love letter to Stone's home, or perhaps a special someone in his life. And he's from Australia. He's born in Sydney. And he says, I like to call it my love album. One of the funky and soulful songs is even called Kids Fallen in Love, if you need any more proof that it's a romance record. So this is the 3rd album under the Dope Lemon moniker, and it's 2 LPs on limited edition pink vinyl. Highly recommend that one. It is my favorite. But also, here's another one. This is Smooth Big Cat. Is it? Yeah, Smooth Big Cat. And this is the 2nd studio album that Angus released under the name Dope Lemon. It was released in 2019. And the album peaked at number 2 in Australia. The model pictured on the cover, for those of you who are going to immediately start Googling, her name is Franziska Gertler. Okay, so Google away. Anyway, Smooth Big Cat is an album of about a bluesy musician whiling away his days with sex, drugs, and melodies. It's a relaxed and dreamy ode to the rock and roll lifestyle. So on his 2nd album as Dope Lemon, Angus Stone sings about drinking while blues records play and girls who beckon with their bodies while riding mechanical bulls. So there's a floating influence of bluesy California folk in here. And it's harmonicas and percussion with claves ringing out. They sound like coconuts, and trembling waves of guitar and small soulful strips of guitar riffs, all compacting into a feeling like a fog or a smoke, depending upon your mood. This is on turquoise blue vinyl. All right, I recommend all 3 of those Dope Lemon records. All right, Duran Duran, Thanksgiving Live. This is on Culture Factory, and this was recorded on Thanksgiving Day in 1997 in Pleasure Island, Orlando, Florida, for the big band radio broadcast. So the sound quality is outstanding on this, and it's a double LP. The package includes a product sticker, cardboard jacket with 1 pocket, 2 printed inner sleeves, and 1 purple color LP and 1 yellow color LP. And it does show you that on the sticker. Okay, and this is the first time this package is available in these color variants. And it was 1 worldwide pressing only for 1,000 units. Okay, next up. we have Goat, Commune. And this comes to us through the Rocket label. Now, this is the second studio album by this Swedish experimental fusion group called Goat. It's a simmering head trip that feels like a ritual to speak with the gods. The album's layers of percussion and snaking Middle Eastern guitar lines seem intent on mesmerizing the listener and drawing him into a hazy expanse of trippy rhythm. So although the band continues to take a pan-cultural approach to music, drawing influences from all around the globe, Commune is surprisingly focused and intense of an album, and it's on limited edition green blue swirl vinyl, and it does tell you that on the sticker. Okay, this is Go-Go Penguin V2.0, and this is on Gondwana Records. Okay, so on the sophomore effort of Go-Go Penguin, it really showcases their potential. The mix of different styles, most notable the use of drum and bass beats, brings a much needed fresh breath of air into the jazz trio. The album is quite concise, but the songs are well balanced and really cohesive. V2 never becomes boring. On the contrary, the structure of the songs keeps your attention where it needs to be. And although there are plenty of solos on this album, they never become tedious. Most importantly, the album sounds vibrant yet controlled, exuberant but not chaotic. And it's a double album on limited edition transparent green vinyl, and it does tell you that there too. Okay, next up is Granddaddy, and this is called Someday. It's on the Danger Bird Records label. These years after critically acclaimed The Software Slump, Granddaddy returns with Someday, which actually kind of sounds more like a software slump than the previous effort did. So on Someday, the band attempts to reconcile the technological with the personal, both musically and lyrically. So several of the songs seem inspired by the rise and fall of the dot-coms and the Silicon Valley. This could have been a great opportunity for some interesting musical commentary, which is why it's sort of disappointing that the results are bland and kind of complacent. Musically, the album's mix of chugging fuzzy guitars and sparkly synths and tinny drum machines is pleasant enough, and it's a mix of like country rock, soft rock, and new wave that suggests what a collaboration between Graham Parsons and the Alan Parsons Project might sound like, but a little dated and oddly enough not as musically adventurous as Software Slump. It's just 2 LPs of it too. It goes on for a while, and it's on white vinyl, and it tells you that it's white vinyl. Okay, this is The Heavy, and it's called Amen. Now, this is on Universal, and they return with their 6th album called Amen, and it's an exhilarating maelstrom of 60s R&B riffs, horns, and gospel harmonies, which is set to the freshest and most revitalized record in their canon yet, and it's on limited edition yellow vinyl. It does tell you that there too. Okay, next up is Ben Howard, Is It? And this is on Island, UK. This record was recorded over 10 days in La Manor de Leon studios in the south of France, and the record is lush. It's a sonically splintered album that captures Howard working through moments of seismic shift in his life. The acclaimed singer-songwriter began work on the album after experiencing 2 mini strokes in March of 2022. He was sitting quietly in his garden when he found himself unable to think clearly, form sentences, or speak for almost an hour. And a month later, the same thing happened again. So he learned that he had suffered 2 TIAs, which are called transient ischemic attacks, known as mini strokes. And it was out of the blue, says the 35-year-old. It was a confusing time. So there's a fold-out poster included in here. And yeah, he's writing about his experience there. Pretty wild, isn't it? Okay, this is The Japanese House. In the End, It Always Does. And this is on Dirty Hit, the label Dirty Hit. It's a critically acclaimed artist. The Japanese House has announced details of her long-awaited sophomore album. In the End, It Always Does, featuring recent single Boyhood. Much of the album lives in the contradictory beginnings and endings, obsession and mundanity, falling in love and falling apart. 4 years after her widely celebrated debut, Good at Falling, this album sees Amber Bain lean even further into pop in that realm. whilst elevating her signature sound. And this comes to us on limited edition yellow vinyl, and it does tell us that in the sticker. Okay, this one is Carol G, and it's called Mañana Será Bonito. This is on Universal Music Latino. Carol G's fourth studio album reached #1 on the Billboard 200 when it was released in February 2023. The album title derives from a mantra she would tell herself when things weren't going well. So, Mañana Será Bonito, it means tomorrow will be beautiful. And the production further asserts Carol G's versatility as she continues to collaborate with iconic artists, including Romeo Santos, Quevedo, Shakira, Sean Paul, Sech, Ovi on the drums, and more. Okay. And then we have Kesha, and this is called Gag Order. This is on RCA, and it's an album that finds the Grammy-nominated pop star Kesha excavating the deepest recesses of her soul. The record, which Kesha has labeled post-pop and was produced by Rick Rubin. It's a full-bodied collection that flows like a stream of consciousness journey through the psychedelic dark depths of the human psyche, followed by basking in the cleansing light when finally reaching the surface. So, yeah, there's Kesha. She's been through a lot. I'm not a big Kesha fan, but, good for her. Go, girl. This is King Ghidorah, Take Me to Your Leader. Big Dada is the label, and MF Doom's Big Dada project, Take Me to Your Leader, as King Ghidorah, is a monster movie concept record featuring a parade of tracks and samples that conform to the age of Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and of course the mighty King Ghidorah, a three-headed monster from outer space. So most of the film references are going to be in the background while guest rappers contribute their own rhymes. It's a 20th anniversary edition and includes a bonus 7-inch, and it does tell you that on the sticker. So, that's a nice reissue. Then we have Janelle Monáe, The Electric Lady, and this is through Atlantic. So Prince, Erykah Badu, Esperanza Spalding, Solange, and Miguel contribute to the 4th and 5th Metropolis suites, but it's not as if Janelle Monáe and the Wonderland Associates were short on creative energy. Equally as detailed and as enchanting as the Arch Android, The Electric Lady is likewise a product of overactive imaginations and detailed concept engineering, and it also plays out like a sci-fi opera / variety program, which style and era hopping galore. So Janelle Monáe, The Electric Lady album is pressed on 2 crystal clear LPs. And it's one-time pressing for this. And the vinyl is part of the Atlantic Records 75th anniversary vinyl collection. You might remember us, there's a sticker that indicates that. And talking before, they've put all these on this crystal clear vinyl. So now you can get this Janelle Monáe. Okay, next up we have Nas. This is King's Disease 3. On Mass Appeal Records. Now, this is a double album, and Nas and Hit Boy are moving through the 20s like modern-day magicians, first collaborating in full for the 2020 LP King's Disease, and the duo are now 4 albums deep into a rapper-producer run that ranks among the strongest of the decade, revitalizing the legendary MC's pen game in a fresh-sounding new way, context and soundscapes, and the resulting work is at once loose and deeply complex and effortless and yet dazzling at its peaks. And the 3 bullions on the album cover, they are, to say it best, this duo keep on producing gold. So 2 LPs on limited edition colored vinyl. Now, I don't know, it just says colored vinyl. I don't know, but I was researching online, and I think it might be like red and black blob colored vinyl, I think. But I guess it would have killed them to let us know, huh? Okay. This is a reissue of New, N-E-U, and this is New 2, and it's on Gronland Records, second studio album by the krautrock band New. It was recorded in January of 1973 and mixed in February of 73, both at Windrose Dumont Time Studios in Hamburg, West Germany, and released in 1973. So here's the picture disc, and not super exciting, but there it is. Okay, next up is Nothing But Thieves, and this is Dead Club City, and this is on the Awal label. So this is the fourth studio album by English alternative rock band Nothing But Thieves, and it introduces us to the exclusive world of Dead Club City. It's a members only club, and each track on the album represents different characters and story arcs intertwined within this mysterious city. It's a collective consciousness, extraterrestrial realm, a dystopian future, heaven, or perhaps something entirely different. Using the club as its focal point, it's easy to identify real world significance behind Dead Club City. The album explores various themes such as advertising, unity, internet culture, the music industry, aging, politics, and the desire for escapism and change. Through the lens of an exclusive members-only club, the album sheds light on the feelings of alienation and privilege associated with these topics. And that's just straight up black vinyl. All right, this is Nothing Nowhere. It's called Void Eternal, and this is on the Fueled by Ramen label. Now, recording from his home studio in Vermont, the listening experience of the record really does feel like it was made by one in isolation, alone with thoughts of doing whatever feels right to do. And in the 40 or so minute span that Joseph Mulheron's fifth LP goes, a shocking amount of ground is covered. For whatever sort of kid you identify yourself as in terms of music, you'll want something, or you'll find something to sink into. Cyanide is a tune on here. Pete Wentz accompanies the singer on this track, giving a performance that can only be described as classic Pete Wentz. For those that miss the sound of Fall Out Boy, is widely known for. This track will be a treat. And so it's on limited edition marble smoke vinyl, and it does tell you that there. Okay. Then we have Fish, and this is Farmhouse Farmhouse, right? Yeah. Okay, and this is on Jemp Records. Now, Farmhouse Fish's ninth full-length studio album is now available as a 2 LP set. The majority of songs on the album, including the title track, were derived from 1997 writing sessions at Vermont farmhouses. Trey Anastasio arranged the horns for Gotta Giboo and strings for Dirt, and the acoustic instrumental, The In-Law Josie Wales, which included Bella Fleck on banjo and Jerry Douglas on dobro. The single Heavy Things charted after being previewed live from Big Cypress on ABC's New Year's Eve 1999 Millennium coverage, and the instrumental First Tube was nominated for a Grammy, and the album went on to be certified gold. So this is on what they're calling limited edition Northern Lights colored vinyl, and it's absolutely gorgeous vinyl. It's sort of a blue-green, but it's got that Aurora Borealis look to it. It's really good-looking vinyl. So that is Fish. Okay, then we have Pony, and this is called Velveteen, Take This to Heart. So amidst the isolation of the past 2 years, Pony's Sam Bielansky and their partner Maddie Moreland transformed themselves into songwriting machines. So thanks in part to their pandemic podcast project, Too Much TV, which they challenged themselves to write a song a day, a new song every single week, not every day, sorry. And they wrote over 100 new original songs, finding inspiration from hours of television and books and self-reflection, and constantly sharpening their songwriting tools with every new melody. So the result is the band's second full-length studio album, Velveteen, featuring some of their most vulnerable to date, 10 new stories about deep connection or longing for it, and embracing true authenticity, all wrapped in easily consumable pop hooks in infectious melodies. I think this actually came out in February, but it's just trickled its way in. Okay, next up is Pool Kids. It's self-titled, and this is on the Skeletal Lighting label. So Pool Kids are energy. They're raw, sporadic, and indisputably authentic. The Four Pieces' latest self-titled album here fuses math rock familiarities with a wave of indie rock angst, and recorded in Seattle. Is the first studio album to include the full band. While the record explores regenerations from trauma, heartbreak, and culture, vocalist Christine Goodwin reaches into the depths of shared existence, unifying a genreless fan base and shattering a wall between performer and listener. Now, this is on what they're calling Green and Bone Galaxy vinyl. And I am just trying to see if it doesn't actually tell you that here, but it is. Okay, then we have another one that's part of the Atlantic Records 75th anniversary, Portugal the Man, Evil Friends reissue. This is the 10th anniversary limited edition vinyl. It features new cover art in a 12 by 24 bonus poster designed by the fantastic The. Single LP packaged in a gatefold jacket on limited edition clear colored vinyl. So yeah, again, those stickers, the Atlantic 75 anniversary, pressing everything on clear, crystal clear vinyl. Okay, so then we have Pucifer. And this is an EP. It's called C is for, please insert sophomoric genitalia reference here. And it's on BMG Rights Management. It's an EP by Maynard James Keenan. You know, he's the guy from Tool and A Perfect Circle, and this is his little side thing. This was originally released in November of 2009, and it contains 4 previously unreleased songs, as well as 2 tracks from V is for Vagina, recorded live on Pucifer's 2009 tour. So this is on opaque gold vinyl, and it does tell you that right there. And if that weren't enough, we have the actual reissue of Pucifer's V is for Vagina. This is a double LP. And it's the debut studio album by Maynard James Keenan, side project Pucifer. This one was released in 2007, and the album features a significantly different electronic sound and arrangements that Keenan's other bands, like the progressive Tool or alternative A Perfect Circle, this is different from that. So this is on blue with black smoke vinyl. It tells you that right there. Okay, now we have Sly and the Family Stone Fresh, and this is comes on the Epic label. Now this is part of the RSD Essentials series. It's fresh, it expands and brightens the slow grooves of There's a Riot Going On, and turning them for the most part into friendly, welcoming rhythms. Fresh winds up a little more varied musically and lyrically, which may not make it as unified, but it does result in more traditional funk than certainly and appealing. It's very appealing in its own right. It finds Sly precisely balancing funk and pop on this one, creating an album that wound up being his last masterwork and one of the great funk albums of that era. 50th anniversary edition on neon orange vinyl, and it tells you that right there. I love this record. It's like so good. It's got If You Want Me to Stay on here, which is such a great thing. And Que Sera Sera is on here, and yeah, it's Skin I'm In. Man, this is a good record. Okay, next up we have Spirit of the Beehive, a couple of reissues. One is Hypnic Jerks, and this is on the Tiny Engines label. The third album from the Philadelphia Quintet is a remarkable piece of dissonance, one as haunted as nightmares and euphoric as daydreams. It's on limited edition pink vinyl, and it does tell you that on the sticker. And also from Spirit of the Beehive, we have Pleasure Suck. This is also Tiny Engines, and an equally compelling and impenetrable album. Most bands are either too square, too scared, or too savvy to make for themselves, and this one is on limited edition, transparent orange, and that also tells you that on the sticker. Okay, then we have Sun Ra, and as if we needed another Sun Ra album, but hey, always welcome. This is The Space Age is Here to Stay. And this is on Modern Harmonic. It's a double LP set, over 75 minutes of vocal performances, audible perfection on this, featuring album art interpreted from the work of the father of modern space art, Chelsea Bonestell, plus extensive liner notes across the history of jazz. There's no wilder, more future-forward composer and performer than Herman Poole Blount, aka Sun Ra. Known as much for his wild onstage persona as his innovative compositions, Sun Ra was the avant-garde bleeding edge of the jazz genre, introducing modal composition and electronic instrumentation before almost anyone else. I mean, what a productive artist, you can say that. How many Sun Ra albums are there? I don't even know. There's so many. Anyway, not to mention bringing the space age to life with his obsession with all things extraterrestrial. So this comes on limited edition, what they're calling lunar blue vinyl. It's a very kind of bright blue color, and it just tells you on the sticker that it's colored vinyl, but trust me, it is what they call lunar blue, and very, very pretty blue vinyl. Okay, this is Twisted, the Green Book. This is on Magic Ninja label. Now, originally released in 2003 and only realized on vinyl in 2015, which is now out of print. And this is the 25 years of Twisted version of the Green Book. It's part of a series of 5 albums to be re-released as a celebration of Twisted's 25th anniversary years as a band. This limited edition double LP is available on transparent green vinyl with solid white galaxy effect. And again, sorry to say, it tells you nowhere on it that it's colored vinyl, but that's what it is. Okay, then we have Volbeat, Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood, and this is on the Mascot label. Now, the Mascot label, it's proud to announce the reissue of Volbeat's hit album Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood, and it's available for the first time on limited edition glow-in-the-dark vinyl. And here it gives you like all the instructions. You have to put this kind of under a light source before it, so it absorbs that. Anyway, Denmark's finest, they load up the caddy and put the pedal to the metal for a road trip through American South in the mid-20th century. So Volbeat, they add some country to their fuel mix of heavy metal and rockabilly on this one. There's a visit to the bayou for a brief bluesy instrumental before they hit the accelerator on the title track album. It's occasionally slowing down slightly during the album for a sharp curve and then roaring ahead. So a first time on glow-in-the-dark vinyl, that's Volbeat. Okay, then we have Frank Zappa, Funky Nothingness, and this is on Zappa Records. And Funky Nothingness is referred to as the Lost Album. It's a sequel to the iconic Hot Rats from 1969, primarily recorded at the Record Plant Studio in 1970. Containing mostly unreleased compositions and jams featuring Don Sugarcane Harris and newcomer Ainsley Dunbar. Titled by Zappa himself, this compilation contains vintage Frank Zappa mixes with modern mixes by Craig Parker Adams, mastered by John Polito, and lacquers cut by Chris Bellman. This 2 LP set comes on black 180-gram audiophile vinyl, and just for good measure, we brought in the CD too. Okay, guys, so that kind of wraps it up from A to Z, what I can grab. Consult the list down below for prices and anything that I missed talking to you about. We've just hit just over the half-hour mark, so I hope you guys have a great weekend, and yeah, I hope you get to do something fun, and the weather is beautiful. We're coming up on the July 4th weekend, and I guess just for those of you that are local, we are going to close the store on July 4th, and that's the Tuesday coming up. Just such a nice treat for us because we never usually do that, only for the real big holidays where there's no postal service, no banks are open, and you know, a lot of times UPS, FedEx are not running. Sometimes they are, but anyway, we're taking the day off. So everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.